So if you clicked on this video today, you're probably interested in creating a menu system in Unreal Engine 5. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to create a professional, fully modular menu system that you can add into your game. And for anybody who stays around until the end of the video, I'm going to be showing you a way to make it completely different to any other YouTube tutorial, and you can animate it. So let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is click on the third person template, rename it menu system, and create your level. Yep, as you can see, we're all loaded in the third person template. And we're going to rename this folder to menus. We're going to right click and we're going to create a widget blueprint, and we're just going to rename this widget blueprint underscore or WB underscore pause menu. Next, what we're going to do is just grab a canvas panel and drag it onto the left hand side. Next, we need a vertical box, and we're just going to drag that so it is a child of the canvas panel. Next, we're just going to click the vertical box, click anchors, and we're just going to anchor it to the center. The position X and Y, let me just think. No, sorry. We're just going to zero them out, and the X and Y side is going to be 400 by 500. Looks right. Maybe I'll change that to 600 so it's a bit longer. And yeah, now we'll just change the position X and Y to -200 and -300. No, I think that looks okay. Let's see. Yeah, that looks a bit better. So yeah, we'll keep that. Next, we're just going to search for a button, and we're going to drag the button on top of the vertical box. And yeah, so we drag it on top of the vertical box to make it a child of the vertical box. And then we're just going to add some text, drag that on, so that's a child of the vertical box, of the button. So we're just going to drag that on so it's a child of the button. Yep, so what we're going to do, we're going to click on the text block, and we're going to change this to resume. You can rename these buttons like whatever you want, really. I'm going to go with resume, and then we're going to do like load game, save game, like settings, FAQs, and then we're going to add a special double box down at the bottom. I did do some research on this topic, and I've watched like a lot of menu tutorials, and this menu tutorial is just a combination of everything. We're just going to change the size, the font, and the skew amount just to see what looks good. I'm just going to try and make it look like decent. Monospacing does not look that good, so we'll just leave that. The font material, we can obviously change that if you want to, but I think I'm just going to put it back to default. Now the outline settings just give it a bit of pop, so it contrasts against the background. So I actually like the Fortnite menus, the way the blue and the yellow contrast and they pop against each other. It makes it like really vibrant, and it's just, honestly, it's just one of the cleanest menus that you can find, especially this one here. As you can see, that it's just blue background, white writing, and then when you highlight it, it turns yellow. So we're gonna do basically exactly that, or something very similar. I want it to look extremely clean, but we're gonna do it with a twist anyway. I'm gonna make it a lot better than any other tutorial on YouTube by animating it at the same time. So we're gonna animate it as well. You can also change the background of the text and of the button. So we're just gonna click on button and change this background. For now, I'm just gonna go yellow. We may change this later. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna add a value of 1 to the outline setting just to make the text pop a little bit more, maybe 2. Yeah, that looks good. We'll change it back to 2, so this is a pretty good middle ground. And what you can actually do, see the corners of the text, like sometimes they're smooth, well, in this font they're very smooth. You can actually make them sharp or smooth by just clicking this little button here. As you can see, I'll zoom in. Right, so next what we need to do is we're just going to add a little bit of padding to the bottom so the buttons don't overlap, or well, they're not just like completely connected. This will just give us a little bit of space and make it look a lot cleaner. Now what we're going to do is we're going to basically rename everything, but a little trick before you do is we're just going to name this resume button. Wait, no we're not. We're going to rename this resume button. And then this one is going to be resume text, and it's important that you can put button and text at the end, and you'll see in a minute, because what we're going to do is we're just going to copy and paste like this multiple times, and we're going to have to rename it every time, and it can be a little bit tedious. So just copy it, and then, well, just copy it and paste it onto the vertical box so it's parented to the vertical box. And now we're just gonna change the text in each of the buttons to, for example, save game or load game. This one is going to be, well, we'll do save match or level. Yep, this one's going to be settings, and then the next one will be FAQs for maybe like if you're making like a fighting game. Frequently asked questions, like something like tutorials or something like that could work well as well. The next one will be, well, we're not going to do quit yet. We're going to do credits, so you can give credit to the game. But this can, like I said, this can be completely, well, this is completely open to be whatever you want. Like you can choose anything for these really. Except from the bottom one, I wouldn't change the bottom one. I'd always have that quit and then the top one as resume. Now, what we're going to do is we're just going to copy the name of each one, and we need to rename all the buttons and all the texts on the left hand side. So as you can see here, I'm just copying this, and then what I will do is highlight the first word. So I'm just going to highlight resume and then paste it in. It's just a faster way to do it. So there's a little tip for you. And the same again, we're just going to do this. It just saves you writing like button and text every 2 seconds for each one of these. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to fast forward through, and we're just going to rename every single button and every single text. Okay, next what we're going to do is we're going to add another horizontal box, and we're going to drop it onto the canvas panel. And what this box will be, it'll be a drop down box. So we need to anchor it to the bottom middle and then just size it accordingly. And this will not show up as soon as you click on the menu, but when you click on quit, it will drop down and it'll give you 2 more options. For example, quit to desktop or quit to main menu, for example, or something like that. So we're just going to change the size X and Y to something nice. I think the Y size is a little bit too big, so yeah, 440, yeah, that works well. So we'll just do that. And I'm just going to copy and paste quit into these. Sorry, I'm just going to copy both of these buttons and paste them into the second horizontal box at the bottom. So it'll paste it inside, and because there's 2, it'll space it out, and we're just going to click fill. Yeah, let's just rename this one main menu, and then we have desktop quit. So we have quit, and then we have main menu as a secondary option, or desktop. So we can choose whichever one you want really, and then make sure you do click fill on the buttons. It'll space it basically perfect. And we're just going to remove the padding off both of the buttons because it's only half filled. Because we had a 20 value off the other buttons, so that just fills it out completely, and we don't need padding at the bottom anyway for that one. The next thing we need to do is we're just going to click on the main menu button and going to add we're just going to add some padding to the right hand side of the left box, if that makes sense. So we're just going to click on the main menu box and add some padding to the right side. That'll give a padding to the desktop, and it'll give padding between the 2 buttons basically, and it just makes it look a lot cleaner. As you can see, like in between each button there's like padding or spacing, and it looks a lot better. So what we need to do here is click on the horizontal box, the second one, and change it to hidden. So if you just type VIS in the search bar, it'll come up with visibility. I'm just going to change this to hidden. So only when we click, oh yeah, change it to variable as well. Only when we click the bottom quit button, it'll give us the option to change it to click main menu or to click desktop. And this is main menu button. And this one will be the main menu. So we're doing the exact same thing here. We're just going to we're just going to rename it main menu button or quit text, just like we did with all the other buttons. Okay, compile and save. And I might rename this one as well. I'm just going to name it something like drop down box. I know it's tedious like renaming everything, but honestly when you're doing the code it makes it 10 times easier to do everything. So I'm just going to click save all here, and what you can actually do is click these 3 buttons and save on compile every time, so just click always. So every time you compile it will save the entire project. Right, next we're just going to go into the graph and we are going to delete all 3 of these. The first thing we need to add is resume button, and we're going to go on clicked. Then we're going to go for the, what have we got here? We're going to go for the quit button and then click on clicked. The third one will be the drop down box, and this one we're just going to drag it out we're just going to drag out the drop down box while holding control. That will get it. And then we want to get the main menu button and on clicked, and also the quit button on clicked as well. Oh wait, no, we already have that one. What else do we need? We need desktop one, that's one. Yep, so we basically, I think we have everything we need. So out of resume button, what we're gonna do is remove from parent. Next, we are going to set game pause, because when we click the resume button, we want it to be unpaused. So we're just going to leave that unchecked. Next, get player controller, and out of the return value, we need to set show mouse cursor. Set show mouse cursor, and set input to game only, because we're not using the UI anymore. Sorry. This is when we leave. So when we click the resume button, it's going to remove from the parent, set game paused, unchecked, remove the mouse cursor, and set input mode to game only. And for the quit, what do we want to do now? Okay, so out of the drop down box, what we're going to do is set visibility, and we're just going to connect that to the output pin of quit button. This is the one where it will basically just drop down. We're just going to get a flip-flop next. So when you click it once, it'll do one thing. When you click a second time, it will do the other. So basically, we're going to get a flip-flop, and we're going to set the visibility for the first time we click it as visible, and for the second time we click it, we're going to make it hidden. If you just select everything and press Q, it'll line everything up, so it's like nice and neat. Is there anything else that we need to do for this one? That's the question. Compile. Like I said before, if you see me not saving, it's because I have got it on always save on compile, so make sure you do that. It's really useful, and it stops you. Well, if your editor crashes, then yeah, you can. You always have that auto save basically every time you compile. Just highlight everything, press C, and rename it to drop down box. Now these are the 2 buttons for the drop down box. So the first one is, we're just going to drag out of it and click open level, but we're not actually going to do that because, well, you can do 2 things, right? So you can do open level by name if you have a name for your level. So we could just type in like third person map or starter map or something like that. Yeah, see here. So just type in a third person map, and this will open the level you type in, or you can just select a level from the drop down here. But for the purpose of the tutorial, we don't want to be opening maps like in the middle of the tutorial, so we're just going to print a string, but now you know how to do it. So this one will be quit to main menu. In the next episode, we will be creating the actual main menu for the game. So that'll be in part 2, so make sure you look out for that one. Yeah, so we're just going to rename that open main menu, and basically what we're going to do here is just type in quit game. So when you click the desktop one, right, so quit to desktop, it'll just quit the game. And if you do this while in editor, it will just close the editor. Next, what we need to do is just comment them, just to stop everything getting mixed up. So main menu and quit to desktop. Nice and easy. So these two up here I added well out of the editing software, and we're actually not going to use them until we create the menu, so just don't worry about them. Next, we're just going to add a FAQ button, and we're basically going to do the exact same thing. So what you can do is drag out of the FAQ button and basically load whatever you want to load. But for the purpose of the tutorial, again, we're just going to print string. So if I just show you here, open level, and then you can do object reference, and then the object would be the map. And then once you click the FAQ button, for example, if you have an FAQ map, for example, it would open the map. But yeah, we're just going to open we're just going to print the string on the screen, so you know the buttons work. So this one will just be open FAQs. And the next one, we actually will open the map because I kind of do want to show you. Yep, so we're just going to comment all these. For this one, we actually could do this. We could actually open the level just to show that it works and stuff. No, in fact, actually, no, we'll just do print string again. But just keep in mind that you can do that. So this one will be opens loaded level, click compile. Right, I'm going to go back to the third person map, open the content browser by pressing Control and space, and we're going to look for the BP third person character. If you want, you can just go to the world settings instead of looking for the folders, and go to game mode override, select the game modes, and it will tell you your default pawn class. Click this little button here and open it up, and it will open the blueprint for the BP third person character. Now go back one, we're just going to go to input first actually. Create a new input action, and this is going to be IA underscore pause, or pause menu. We want to click trigger when paused, so it only works when it's paused. We're going to add a input mapping on the IMC default drop down box. Click this little thing and click whatever key you want to trigger the pause menu, which is P for me. So next, right click in the event graph, type in IA underscore pause menu, and it'll do exactly what you've just done there. So once you press P, it will trigger this line of code. So off of this, we want to create widget, and the widget class is going to be the pause menu which we created earlier. And then out of the return value, we're going to promote this to a variable, so we've got a reference to the pause menu widget. Press highlight everything, highlight everything and press Q just to straighten it all up. And then what we need to do next is, what do we need to do next? We need to drag out and get an is valid. Wait, yeah, do we get an is valid? Yeah, we get an is valid. It'll just stop on any errors. Next, we're going to get the pause menu ref and drag it straight into there. This checks that the pause menu is valid. And if the pause menu is not valid, then it will create it. So if it's not on your screen already, it'll create the pause menu when you press P. And when you press P and the pause menu is valid, it will remove it from the screen. Okay? And the condition, we need a condition, and the condition is game paused. So if the game is paused, then so if the game is paused out of true, we're gonna get remove from. Wait, no, we need to get the. Do we? Yeah. So we need to remove this from the viewport. So we need to get the pause menu ref. Remove from parent. Okay, so if the pause menu is valid and the game is paused, it will remove from the parent when you press P. And set game pause will be unpaused. So we're not going to click that little checkbox, and we're just going to get play controller from input device. No, we're not. We're going to get player controller, and then we are going to get so out of player controller, we're going to get a mouse cursor. I'm going to set the mouse cursor. It's the one at the bottom, it's the boolean. That is get, not set. So we're just going to. Can we change it here? No, we can't. Okay, so we need to. Yeah, we need to drag out a return value actually. So we drag out a return value and get set show mouse cursor. It needs to be the set one. And I've just deleted it, great. Alright, there we go. Click that, and we're just gonna leave that unchecked again. Because now we're unpaused, we don't want to see the cursor anymore. Next, we're just gonna drag out the return value of the player controller again and set input to game only, because once again we are now out of the pause menu and we're in game only mode. So let's do that. Basically we need to do the opposite, so I'm just going to tidy this up a little bit. If you just double click any of the nodes or any of the wires, you can add a reroute node and it'll just clean everything up a little bit. So if the pause menu is not valid, which means the pause menu is not on our screen, then what we need to do is get a reference to it, and we're going to go add it to the screen. So we're just going to add it to the viewport if it's not already there, if you press P. Next, we're just going to drag out set game paused, and we're just going to check that because now we are paused. I'm just going to highlight these, press Q, just clean up a bit. Bit of housekeeping, so check that to paused. Next, we're just going to drag out, I'm just going to drag this down here for now. What we're going to do is set show mouse cursor again, and now we want to see the mouse cursor because we are now in the menus. Next, we're going to set input device game only. Oh yeah, check that, right. Set input device, set input mode, sorry, game only and UI. So we need to check that and then set it to game mode and UI. And then get the pause reference for the widget and just drag it into there. Now I'm just going to clean up this code a little bit because it's annoying me. I'm just going to select all the central ones and press Q. And yeah, we'll just press Q there. Press Q again, rearrange these and add a reroute node. I'm just going to drag that down here, add another one, drag it down there so it's less messy. Alright, that should do it. Compile, save, play, and now when we press P, it is not working. That is, wow, okay. Right, that's because we have it untriggered and we need to change that, so just drag it over there. We need to drag it down to started, I think. One moment. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to drag it out of started and then put it into the is valid. Okay, now compile, save, and that should work. So, boom, it pauses the game, that's why I'm jumping in the background, and click resume and it works. There we go. If we click any of the settings, loads menu, and obviously that's just a print string for now, but you could load the menu or load FAQs or load credits, and then when we click the quit box, we see the little drop down and we can quit to main menu or we quit to desktop, which quits the editor. There we go. So everything's working. We've got a couple of errors, but we will sort them. Next, we're just going to go to the widget pause menu again. Let's just look around here. I don't really like the pause, so we're just going to change some stuff. Now, like I said before, I kind of like the Fortnite menu, especially for the purpose of the tutorial, and we're just going to basically do a similar colour scheme. So yeah, we're just going to go back to the designer and click on the button, change the colour. You can just select any colour you want, really. I'm just going to go with like a bluish colour, similar to the Fortnite style. And if you just click back in here, and what we can do, we can just copy the hex S RGB value and just paste it into every single one of these. So let's just do that. Paste, click it here, and paste it in. I'm just going to do this for every single one, but what we will do is just leave the menu in the desktop one because I think it looks a little bit cooler when it just drops down with two different colours. And soon you will see why I'm changing it to the blue colour. And soon you will see why I'm changing it to the blue colour, and then we've got the contrast in yellow, which looks pretty cool. Now I'm just going to select every single button and change, where is it now? I'm just going to change the alpha a little bit, just so it's a little bit more see-through. If that's something you want to do, you can do that. That just changes the transparency, so you can just see a little bit more of the character behind. And as you can see, both the menu and the desktop are different colours. So what I want to do now is, I'm just going to search for blur. I'm going to drag that onto the canvas panel. And right now, it's the blur is above everything else in the layer section. So it will show over the top, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So let's just drag this down for now, and then let's anchor it as well to the middle. That makes sure it stays in place when you change resolution. As you can see, it's over the top right now, so it's just blurring everything. There we go. But what we can do to make this look like kind of cool, everything still works, but it's just like blurred. So what we can do is drag it underneath the buttons. So just drag it here, just below the canvas panel. And now you can see the background is blurred if we do this. And it's still transparent, the buttons, and it just makes everything pop a little bit more. And I think it looks just a lot better than having no blur. Right, so basically what I've done here is found a random geometric background on Google and just dragged it in, and it is below the blur layer, so it's basically blurring the background and everything else isn't blurred. Yeah, there you go. So just turn the blur off and you can see the background, so that's something else that you can do. We will be changing this though, because I do want to animate this and make it look like completely professional, and yeah, that's still... Yeah, so that looks kind of clean, but like I said, we're just gonna, we will be removing this. This is just like a placeholder for now, because I do want to animate it. That is one of the main purposes of making this menu tutorial, because I want it to be different than the ones on YouTube, and I've not seen anybody animate a menu yet, so you will be learning that. Just going to drag it here and enable the blur again, and just lower it a little bit, something like that. Looks kind of nice. You can still see the shapes and it's still blue in the background. Okay, so what I want to do now is I have downloaded this little picture with a transparent background. So keep in mind that it does have a transparent background. If you just search like gamer images with transparent background, something like this will come up because that's exactly what I searched. We're just going to drag this above. So we're just going to drag this onto the canvas panel and we're just going to resize it. A little tip if you're struggling to like select anything on the screen like I am now, what you can do is, let me just reverse that. Yeah, if you're struggling to select anything on your screen, a little tip is you can lock stuff. So if I click the padlocks on the left hand side, it'll stop me selecting stuff that I don't want to select. So for example, if I select the buttons and click the little lock, it will stop me selecting the buttons. So right now I'm just messing about, seeing what looks good, and I'm just going to anchor this and size it properly. Yeah, that should be good. And yeah, so as you can see here, I'm just struggling to select anything. So what you can do is just click the little padlock. If I click it on the vertical box, it'll block me selecting anything that's below. Now I can select it freely because everything else is locked. So yeah, I just want to drag this to the right hand side. I want it a little bit behind the menu so it just gives, yeah, I think that looks a lot better. Yeah, it just looks a lot better in my opinion if you just drag it a little bit behind. So let's play, let's have a look. See, that's looking pretty good, but I don't think I want that to be blurred. So what I do need to do is, let's just drag it out a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so I'm just gonna get the background blur, and we can't edit it because it's currently locked. So we need to unlock it, and we're just gonna change the blur amount to 0. And there we go. That's looking better and better by the minute. Everything still works. Open main menu, save game, load game, settings, FAQ, the lot. Yeah, everything works. And it's looking a lot better. So, right, so here what I'm doing is I'm just changing that background, like geometric blue one, to a lower alpha value, which just makes it a little bit more see-through. I just want to demonstrate like what you can do if you're just a little bit creative with this. So, yeah, as you can see more of the background, but it still has every other feature that we did before. I'm just going to revert this one because I don't really like it. Right, so basically what I've done, I've skipped ahead a little bit, but I have created the animated background. I just want to do some testing off camera, so I'm not wasting anybody's time. So we need to go into the content browser, and we just need to create a new folder called video. Then we're gonna create a new media player. So if you just click in the content browser, go to media player, and we can just create that there. Next, what we need to do is create a media texture. So do the exact same thing, but just create a media texture. This is the second one. And then right click that, and we're going to create a material from the media texture. We're going to change the texture in the left bottom corner to the one we just created. So if you just click the drop down box, it'll show you. And then if we just click off into the open space, it'll give us this set of values, and we're just going to change the material domain into user interface. Connect the RGB value to the final color, click apply and save. Now we're just going to do a little bit of resizing for everything so that when you change resolution, it will be like the correct size. So if you're playing in 1440, 1080, or basically whatever, it'll change like the size of the menu depending on what your native resolution is. Okay, so here what we're going to do is we're going to click on the image. This is the background image, the blue geometric one in the background, and we're just going to change this to what we created a moment ago, which was, where is it? click this little drop down box here, and we're going to change this to media. Yeah, there we go, media player video, and it'll just have a black background for now. And then go into the graph, we're going to go event construct. Okay, so here what you want to do is type in media player. Just ignore the code in the background, that was from an error from before. So yeah, we're just going to click on media player and make sure it's the class, not the object reference, like I did before. Now, we should just be able to drag this. Should we be able to drag? I think we can just drag this in, no? Yeah, so what I had to do, I had to drag in the movie or the MP4 video file, whatever you want to play in the background, and just drag it in, and then in the media source drop down, just select whichever one you want. And then out of rewind, we actually need to click play, believe it or not. So yeah, it kind of makes sense. Down here, for the media player, we're just going to select the media player we created earlier. Which one was it? One was for testing, one was for the actual video, and this one works. So there we go. So as you can see, everything works fine. It looks beautiful, it looks professional, and now you know how to do this. The only thing I haven't shown you how to do is the functionality for the buttons. So right now it just says print string, so it'll just print out whatever I type in. I did show you how to load levels and stuff like that, but I want to show you how to exit the pause menu to the main menu, which gives you like loads of settings. For the settings button, we're going to be adding settings for the game, so like brightness, contrast, resolution, I don't know, FPS counter and stuff like that. So if you want to learn how to do that, click in the top right. Part 2 will be up in a few days. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future videos. Thank you.